Welcome to QCC's Face the Region. Face the Region is produced by Quinsigamond Community College to assist our region in attaining educational, economic, and personal prosperity. Good afternoon and welcome to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio AM 830 WCRN. It's Zip Zipfel along with a gaggle of guests representing the community outreach programs at QCC. With us this afternoon is Ethan O'Connell. He's the Vice President of Phi Theta Kappa, Kimberly May, the President of PTK, and also Kira Marlowe from Psi Beta. Now, did I get that correct, you guys?
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
That's a lot of Greek. More Greek than that is Greek, correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Tell us a bit about, Ethan, tell us a bit about the community outreach programs and what you guys are not only accomplishing in the community, but your goals for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we do a lot here at QCC. One thing in which I'm involved is called the Wyvern Day of Service. The Wyvern Day of Service. And what that is a school-wide outreach effort where we go out into the community for a day and work with a number of agencies in Worcester, from the YWCA, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, and about 4 or 5 others, and really just do our part to not only participate in service learning, but make a difference in our communities.
Right. And as far as the PTK is concerned, how does that interact?
And so that's an independent effort, but PTK does a lot, and I think Kim can speak to that.
Okay.
Yes.
She really can.
PTK, or Phi Theta Kappa, is an international honor society, and it is built upon 4 pillars in the areas of scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service. And we try to infuse those concepts in all the activities that we do. And one of the things Phi Theta Kappa members are known for is for their capacity to serve others and to make a difference in their community. When you have over 3 million members of high intellect, we have the potential to affect positive change.
Great. And Kira, is Psi Beta involved as well with the community outreach?
Yes, definitely. We have an annual Psych Fest that we put on every year. Actually, it's in April this year, the 7th. We do a lot of community work dealing with mainly we're dealing with U Inc. this year in Worcester. Sure. So dealing with kids and adolescents that are going through hard times, and so all of our proceeds that go, we pick a specific place to put our proceeds at for the specific year. And this is our 2nd annual one, so be a little
great. You guys are busy, no doubt. Ethan, so tell me a bit about the Wyvern project.
The Wyvern, yeah, and so Wyvern, as you may know, is our mascot for QCC, and it came about 3 years ago, where the Human Services Club said, hey, let's get out in the community and really participate in some service learning, not only to learn as a human services professional, but to do some good in the community. And so last year was the first year in which I participated in it. We went to 8 agencies throughout Worcester. I already mentioned the Boys and Girls Club, the YWCA, the YMCA, but also the Mustard Seed, Food Pantry, the Restore, the Habitat for Humanity Restore, that's what I did, and about 3 or 4 other agencies. And so the types of things that the students will participate in range. I carried drywall and smashed things, and it was actually pretty fun. But a number of other groups participated by painting murals, helping garden. And so they're not difficult things, but they really do make a difference in the lives of the agencies, the people that are served by these agencies. And so this year it's happening on April 22nd, and we're hoping to get between 50 and 100 participants to head out into Worcester and to make it known that QCC wants to serve our community, to put the community in community college.
Now, do they necessarily have to be QCC students, or can anybody volunteer?
Well, that isn't something that we've encountered in the past. Absolutely, we'd welcome other volunteers, but typically they are only QCC students. Although I take that back. If a family member of a QCC student wanted to come, I think that's something that has happened in the past, so there is some precedent for that.
Right. Tell us a bit about some of the past projects that all of you have been involved with that come to mind as sort of indicative of the kind of community outreach you're doing.
Yeah, one thing that I've participated in with PTK, and Kim has as well, is the Community Harvest Garden in North Grafton. And that's been around for about how long would you say, Kim?
Probably about 10 years, maybe less.
A decade
than
or so.
Yeah.
And they serve about 100,000 people through food pantries in Worcester by providing fresh fruits and vegetables to those food pantries. And so what we did as volunteers that day was just, or we actually went on 3 separate days over the summer, but we picked cabbage, zucchini, just a number of other vegetables as well, for about 4 hours, and it was fun. It was sunny out. We had a good time. But at the end of the day, they gathered us together as a group, and they said, "You picked this many 100 pounds of vegetables, and it will go to serve, dozens of people." And so that was something we really felt good about. We were happy to help in that capacity.
Terrific, terrific. Again, when you do you see folks willing to donate their time? Or is it harder to get people in this crazy digital age we live in, to make time and commitment to do that?
We do have students, that will come in and say that they may not have that amount of time, but we offer a wide range of volunteer opportunities, different days during the week, to be able to give students an equal opportunity to participate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I will say is
Sure.
the students that do volunteer one time are a lot more likely to come
Right.
back. It is fun, that the activities that we participate
Yes.
in, and they like doing it.
Yeah, it seems like you're kind of a fun guy.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
And do some cool stuff. Some of the previously successful projects you guys have worked on, have you seen positive effects in the community? I mean, not only with the Harvest Project,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
in years past?
So last year we actually, a member of she's our communications director, her name is Mary Sylvester, brought to us the idea of volunteering at the Convoy of Hope event, which is a faith-based organization providing a day of hope for Worcester residents. And so during that event, I believe there was 900 volunteers, in which the honored guests had access to free shoes, prayer, haircuts, family portraits, dental and health screenings, and part of how we contributed is we brought 4,000 books with us to tie into our literacy campaign, and we were able to give children at least 2 books for anybody that stopped at our tent, to encourage reading and to allow them to take the pledge to read at least 20 minutes a day.
Oh, great.
So yes.
Terrific. You're listening to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830. We'll get more from Ethan, Kimberly, and Kara when we continue right after this brief timeout. Welcome back to QCC's Face the Region. Zip Zipfel, along with the folks in the QCC Community Outreach Program. We're speaking this afternoon with Ethan O'Connell, who's president of the Phi Theta Kappa, vice president.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Vice president, yeah.
Vice president of Phi Theta Kappa. Kimberly May, who is president of PTK, and also Kira Marlowe from Psi Beta. Hope you keep that all straight there in the audience. I'm having trouble here. In the break, you were telling me you've got how many, a dozen events a year, or are these spread over?
Geez, so it's over a year, and I'd say, what would you say, Kim? About
Yeah, I'd
probably
say about
between
10 to 12.
10 to 12,
Yes,
yeah.
correct.
Okay, and the term bullathon came to the surface here. Tell us a bit about bullathon.
Sure. So each year, the members of Phi Theta Kappa host a spring annual charity bowl-a-thon.
Bowl-a-thon.
Which, yes.
Sorry, I thought it was bull-a-thon. I'm thinking, what do people just get together and chat? I'm sorry, my
Yes.
bad hearing. Go
That's
ahead.
okay.
Bowl-a-thon, thank you.
And the option, or the reason why we do it is to raise funds for a particular charity. And one of the commitments that we've made, it's actually one of the largest commitments in the history of our chapter, and that was to raise $100,000 over a 3-year period.
Wow.
And that is to help sustain Lily, the newest bookmobile of the Worcester Public Library. And so this year the proceeds will go towards Lily, and it's going to be held on Sunday, March 5th at the AMF Bowling Lanes on Southbridge Street in Auburn, and it will take place from 12 to 4, in which people can pay $25, and that will include 2 hours of bowling, their shoes, pizza, beverages, cake, popcorn, and lots of fun.
All the major food groups.
Yes. There will also be lots of raffles, and we actually have 2 $500 tuition waivers that will be up for grabs, in which students can take chances on that to help with their tuition.
Tell us a bit more about the Lily program. The reading deficiency is really a huge problem. I understand a lot of households have very few books in them.
Yes.
Is that true?
It is true. Actually, we had a guest speaker here in 2014 in which had done an interview and was asking a child what their favorite book was, and the child had responded a yellow book, and what the child was actually referring to was the Yellow Pages. So back in 2014, I was an officer, and it's actually when we voted to, make the commitment to help sustain Lily, and it was because of the statistics. So currently there are 59% of students within the Worcester area that are not reading to proficiency by the time they enter 4th grade. And so part of this whole project is to encourage reading, but also to provide children with access to books, not only during the academic school year, but all year round.
Wow, fantastic work, fantastic work. Kira, you mentioned the Psych Fest?
Yes, so this year our Psych Fest theme is substance abuse, and all of our proceeds, like I mentioned before, go to U Inc. in Worcester, which is adolescent care and everything. We do, it's almost like we have a lot of musicians, we have a lot of acts, we have comedians, spoken word, we have poetry, dance. We're actually looking for all of those things right now to fill up the space that we have going on. So we kind of pick the QCC students first, but we also branch out to local coffee shops. We get a lot of bands from coffee shops, there's singers and stuff like that. And then if you want to speak on last year's.
If I may say, last year I was fortunate enough to attend Psych Fest, and it was a really fun time. They had a lot of great musicians, a comedian, there was a presentation on mental illness in the veteran community, and all the proceeds last year went to the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and they raised I think a few $1,000s for that, so hopefully they'll generate similar proceeds for Ewing this year. It really is a great time.
Now, Kira, you mentioned you actually are looking for volunteer entertainers, and how would they get involved if they were so inclined?
So we have a website that we're posting around. We have flyers right now at around the whole campus that are getting posted tomorrow, actually. So we have to send those in for kind of like confirmation from our advisor to make sure that those can go up through the student center as well. But there is a Google Docs form that people can sign up through, and then they get kind of like almost like a quick interview. Not really an interview, but more like a
vetting.
Yeah, they're like, oh, tell us about your event and like what you or your act and what you do, and we go from there. We pick and choose, try to have a variety of everything, and just because our theme is substance abuse this year, it doesn't mean that we have to. Your act has to be about substance abuse or whatever. You can have acts about anything that you want, just as long as it's pretty entertaining.
Excellent, excellent. You mentioned veterans, and there's obviously some great work going on, and has been for many years here in the city. Veterans Inc. comes to mind. Tell me about the holiday harvest with the veterans.
Yeah, that's something that PTK has participated in for the past several years. And we either go the night before Thanksgiving, or I'm sorry, a few nights before Thanksgiving, or the day prior to Thanksgiving, to package groceries and food for homeless veterans and veterans that can't afford a meal on Thanksgiving. And so, Kim, you were actually there the night before, is that right?
Yes. So usually what happens is it's a coordinated effort in which they give us like various foods and stuff. We have to set them out on the tables, but they have a day in which families can come in, veterans families come in and put together their Thanksgiving meals. So yeah, and this year I believe after everything was said and done, we were able to service about 3,000 families.
Wow.
So yes.
And it really is such rewarding work to
Right.
have the person come and to physically hand them the meal that
Sure.
they're going to be making. They're so appreciative. It's a great day.
Now, I realize, we're a ways off, and actually we've we've passed the holidays. But looking forward, how would somebody get involved with that particular project? How would they get a hold of you guys?
So when the new officer team comes on in April, they will, as a team, decide how they, like the different events and organizations they want to support. So the holiday harvest is something that I have been involved with since 2014, and it was something that I was very passionate about, so I coordinated this year's or last year's efforts. So again, it's whatever the new officer team decides to pursue.
Great,
Yes.
great.
What if people wanted to reach out by email, they could reach us at?
Yes. So again, we're always like looking for new ideas and for volunteers. You can reach us by phone at 508-854-4411 or 508-854-7412. We also have our email address, and I'm going to spell it for you. It's PHITAKAPPA@QMAIL.QCC.edu.
Wow, that's an easy one to remember. Well, we'll mention that again before the end of the program. And by the way, Kim, I just want to, she's got a terrible cold, and you're a real trooper to be here.
Thank you. Ethan does too.
So we appreciate
There's
that.
something going around.
More coming up here on QCC's community outreach programs in just a couple of minutes, when QCC's Face the Region continues on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. Welcome back to QCC's Face the Region here on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN. For the past 20 minutes or so, we've been chatting about the QCC community outreach programs, which have really kind of been championed by Phi Theta Kappa, and specifically Kimberly May, who is president of PTK. Tell me, Kim, where do you find, do you have kids?
I do have children. They're actually 20 and 22, so
Oh, okay, adult
yes,
kids.
much older.
So I was just going to
independent.
say, how do you find the time to
You make the time.
Yeah.
I have done volunteer work since I was not knee-high to a grasshopper, but it's been a lot of years, and I find that the benefits of it are twofold. Not only do you help yourself, but you also have the capability to help others.
That's just great. And during the break, we were talking a bit more about PTK. Explain the whole process of the honor system. I was thinking that fraternities and sororities, again, it shows my lack of intellect here, but Animal House, and you know what I mean?
Yes.
So explain a little bit about the
Sure.
PTK.
So Phi Theta Kappa is an international honor society. It represents two-year community colleges worldwide. There are over 3 million members, 1,300 chapters on a global level. Again, we are built upon scholarship, leadership, fellowship, and service learning. And in order to be invited to our honor society, you have to have earned at least 16 academic credits here at the college, and you have to maintain at least a 3.5 cumulative GPA.
Wow, yeah. And again, and you draw on most of your volunteers for these community outreach programs from this database of the
Yes.
kids. Yeah.
So when we started, probably like 10 or 11 years ago, we started off as a silent chapter. We only had 30 active members, and today we invite 900 students each semester. So it has grown in leaps and bounds, and through the awareness that we've created, we are at the highest rate of active students so far. So it's quite an accomplishment.
She's so humble. It's killing me. Greenhouse on campus. Tell
Yes.
us about the Greenhouse Initiative.
Okay, so 3 years ago, again 2014, we had a previous member was a past advisor for our chapter. Her name was Mary Bailey. Mary Bailey came to us with the idea of creating a campus greenhouse here to be able to provide nutrient-rich vegetables for students. And unfortunately, Mary passed away in January, but the campus greenhouse is in the works. We do have the glass that is coming in, and we're going to be converting an old transit station into a fully functional greenhouse.
Wow.
So we're very proud about that, and if it's successful, the new building that they're talking about erecting here on campus, there is talk that if this is successful, that there could be a rooftop garden. So yes, we have a lot of people that are involved with it. And we also, it's called a Live and Learn Greenhouse. And what it is we're trying to connect not only the faculty, but students here on campus, as well as the community, to educate them on urban gardening and food sustainability.
Wow, great. Really fantastic programs.
Yes.
Kira, now is Psi Beta in the same organization from an honor society standpoint?
It's an honor society, but ours is a psychology honor society. So our research study groups up with a bunch of community colleges from all around, and we basically take this little survey for us, and anyone over 18 in a community college can take the survey. We offer, some of the professors here offer some extra credit for taking the survey themselves, or for the students taking the surveys themselves, and our survey this year is on grit and like how we push, like how we as college students push through the struggles that we face as college students.
I mean, grit as determination.
Yes.
Okay. So I thought it was an acronym for something else.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And we, at the end, we collect all this data, and I think our last day is the 28th of February to collect the data, and we get it sent back to us, and some of the students work with Dr. Mania, which is a professor here, to kind of crunch the numbers and statistics, and then we take this, all the work that we've done through it, we do a lot of analysis on it, and then we make a final project that we try to take to the NEAP, so the New England Psych Association, and we present this project there. All of our research study there.
And so to develop positive role and thinking and, you know.
And it
as a way to
definitely
help students.
branches the students out as well. It gets them thinking on a higher level than you wouldn't normally get that at a community college.
Right.
And the places that we go are more of like a doctorate level when we go to the NEPA. So it's more of like students sharing their doctorate work and getting that on a community level standpoint is really, really awesome.
Great, great, great. We're getting ready to wrap things up here. You got the Relay for Life coming up too, Kim, as well?
Actually, the Relay for Life was a past event, so we took part in that in September of 2016. It was our first time taking part in this, and our chapter, actually, we walked on behalf of a faculty member here who was obviously diagnosed with cancer, and so that was held in Auburn, and we were able to raise $650 towards cancer research, and we also donated a gift basket, to raise additional funds.
Do you have any idea of the total amount of dollars you've raised in all these various ventures over the years? Or even for a fiscal year?
For Lily, the bookmobile alone, we have raised probably $60,000.
Wow.
So yes, it's pretty incredible the impact that we have made.
Wow.
It's an absolute honor to be a member of the chapter.
Well, they're very lucky to have you at the helm. They
Yeah,
really are.
thank
Kimberly
you.
May, the president of PTK, Kara Marlowe from Psi Beta, thanks so much for being here, and
You're
continued
welcome.
success, and keep up the great work. And
Thank you.
I know it doesn't go unnoticed. As, that's going to do it for this edition of QCC's Face the Region. Join us next time as we find out more about Quinsigamond Community College here in the great area of central Massachusetts on Full Service Radio, AM 830 WCRN.
This has been Quinsigamond Community College's Face the Region. Join us again next weekend on AM 830 WCRN.